Hi, my name is Chris Adams. Welcome to Guitar in Perfect Fourths Tuning number 29. 6 ways to play a 2-octave diminished triad arpeggio in one hand position. So kind of a mouthful and a little stretching the truth a little bit on one hand position, but it's one path across the neck. If you're new to this channel or experience, I made other videos starting with the part 27 is a major chord and part 28 is a minor chord, minor triad, and now we're into the diminished triad. By the end of this lesson, you're going to learn how to play a 2-octave arpeggio in the diminished triad, diminished scale I said, but triad, and it's the same notes in the same order. We're just going to have different fingerings on them as we go across the neck. And as always, perfect fourths makes this way easier than standard cage-based tuning. In the description, there's going to be links to PDFs and other totally cool stuff. Anyway, so here is the diminished triad mapped out on the fingerboard, so you can see it's symmetrical. So we have the root we're in C here, and the flat third and the flat fifth, and the root. So starting from the 8th fret, but we can see all our tritones here. Whoops. So it's symmetrical all the way across the neck. And if you notice something about this diagram here, oh sorry, these are the notes we're going to play, but we notice there's something missing here. Well, not really missing, but if we fill in these notes, we get to the diminished scale, and then all of a sudden, whoa, look at those lines. Everything's in parallel triads. So it's beyond the scope of this video. But anyway, with the diminished, you have, if you're starting here on the root and you're doing the diminished scale, the whole diminished, gosh, what's that called? Escapes me. But it's symmetrical if you have all flat thirds together. Okay, so it's kind of like, but learning the triads alone, so it would be this, root, third, flat fifth, and octave. It's also useful to know this, in addition to the kind of cheat code way. So anyway, here we are with these are the notes we're going to play. As with the major minor triads, we're going to start with the root on C, and we're going to play the minor third, and we're going to play on the same notes, and we're going to go to the large reach from the flat fifth to the octave, and then we're going to go from the root and third, and the third and the flat fifth, and the flat fifth and the octave again up here. Whoops. Okay, so let's dig in. We're going to play across the 6 strings. We're going to see the symmetry going this way, and we're going to, as each note moves from like this position to this position on the next string, you'll see the pattern kind of unfold as it comes. As we go up the neck, the pattern kind of unrolls and repeats in a different way. So the pattern going this way on the neck is not always as obvious with a diminished scale as the other ones, but it's there, because the diminished scale is strongly biased to going this way, seeing the pattern this way, because there's straight lines of the tritones going across. Anyway, this is where we'll start. So we're going to have the root, flat third, flat fifth, and we're going to go on the root here and do it again, flat third, flat fifth, and then root. Okay, so that's the first shape. Then we're going to move this flat fifth from here to here for the next shape. Oh, and also in this pattern, we're going to recognize it's 2 root position diminished triads, and we go up an octave from this in this octave, and play the diminished triad an octave higher. Same shape because of Perfect for us, of course. So now here, this is very like a little kind of house shape with what we have. So we're going to move the fifth from the first fret of the F string to the sixth fret of the C string, because we're tuned up to C and F instead of B and E. Here we go. Root, third, flat 5, root, flat third, flat fifth, root, and back. Okay, we're going to move one more towards the floor. You can see the flat third is there. So this is a little bit more, probably the most compact hand position to play the same notes every time, right? So root, third, flat 5, root, up to the flat third, flat 5, root. And here we see the first inversion repeat itself. So with all these chords, I think the first position is really, it's the simplest one to play, and with the diminished, you can kind of slide it around. So, whoops, what am I doing here? Back. And play it. Excited with that one. So next we're going to move one more string this way. So we're on the D string, and we're going to go from the flat 5 to the root. So this is a tritone in the number of frets. So that's 6 frets to do this. So let's give it a go. So root, flat third, flat fifth, root, flat third, whoops, flat third, fifth, root. So you can see if you play it symmetrically, like maybe you have practiced other diminished riffs, it's cool. But playing the triads really helps you see the relationship between the fifth and the root when you're playing through it. And this shape here, we're repeating the root position again. Because that's where we're switching. So root 3 5, root 3 5, and then just playing the root to finish it up on the top string, the F string there. Now we're going to go down one more, or go one string up towards the ceiling here, and we're going to play 2 notes on the A string. So root, flat third, flat fifth, root, flat third, flat fifth, root. Okay, and now finally we're going to play on the root, flat third, fifth, root, flat third, flat fifth, root. And in this case, you'll see the first inversion repeating itself here. So we start on the root again, and the first inversion is here, and we go up here. And this note is the same first inversion as here. So on the 11th fret on the 6th string is the same as the 6th fret, starting the 6th fret on the A string. And also you can do, oops, oh, ran out of strings. Did that again. Anyway, so here is the whole run again. So you can do it, you can do this in any number of ways. It's the patterns that will help you learn it. You can do it with the 2 notes at a time, the Diads, I guess you can call it. So here's the root and third and fifth and root and third and fifth, and then we'll go up. there, but you can move the whole triad across all at once. So you play the first root position, first inversion, second inversion, and then you're back at the first inversion again, So we're at the 5th fret, 3rd, 1st fret, and then we slide up to play the first inversion on the So that's something I'll get into in a future video where you could play the whole triad at once. And again, this isn't going to sound super musical, but if you give it a chance and try this for a few days or a few weeks, really work through it, you'll say, you're going to start feeling it under your fingers more. And then because you're switching the note every string, you're going to train yourself to really have sensations of seeing, hearing, feeling where all these triads go together. So when you play in a root position, you'll know that, right, you know that you can reach for the first inversion or the second inversion. And you'll know that when you're wailing away and you get to a root note, you're in your blues, and you want to play a diminish, you've been there before, so you can go back. Anyway, that wasn't very. Hopefully that registered for you. Anyway, thanks for watching. So I have a couple of books out so far on guitar. I have a lot of books out. It's one of my kind of things that I do. So the first book is Guitar in 4th Gear, how to transition into perfect fourths tuning if you're new to, and why it makes sense. And also, there's also like practical things to do in there, like how the chords work and intervals and stuff like that. And on my Triads book, which is mostly what I've been talking about here, it's this is the complete version of all three, and it's lots of page by page diagrams of all the different variations, just being very complete about how all these things work. And if you work through it, I think you'll find it enlightening, enriching, and enjoy your guitar journey, your lifelong guitar journey. You can see more at taurusheadstudios.com. There's free PDFs. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Some of my other books, I should have some of my other books around here. Oh, here's one. Made books of stereograms. I love stereograms. So I made a book of stereograms. Cool stuff.